Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a huge video for you on Call of Duty Black Ops 3 campaign details. I'm going to be talking about the background of the campaign, like the story around it, where the world is, etc., etc. The specific story of the campaign, who you are, what you're doing, who the bad guys are, etc., etc. A map that was played in a demo reel, and the same map that I got to see play live on a PC 4K 60 FPS, not by devs, but by actual YouTubers and stuff. And then some differences in the campaign, some design decisions, and some unique intel, because again, I was actually at Treyarch. I saw all of this live, got to answer questions, got to dig a little bit. Lots and lots of cool stuff here. Been a big day for multiplayer on my channel, but video number 8, we are going to round out the campaign. So let's talk about the background first. This is a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. It follows the story and comes after Black Ops 2. It's set in the 2060s or so, maybe not exactly 2060, 2064, 3, 5, 8, whatever, 2060s-ish, and it kind of follows the political ramifications of Black Ops 2. And I'm going to very ignorantly confess here that I didn't play very much of the Black Ops 2 campaign, but as I'm told, the enemy, Mendez, hacks the US drone system and uses our own drones against us. Well, following that huge embarrassment, politicians, military, etc. invested an absurd amount of money in developing what they call directed energy air defense weapons, which is something that we have today. We use lasers to shoot down missiles and airplanes and stuff, same kind of thing, or DEAD systems, DEAD. And these were so advanced, so accurate, so perfect, that they made drone strikes and aerial assaults and things like that nearly impossible. Also, a lot of AI attacks. So it's almost impossible, or at least economically, financially, and militarily stupid to attack any nation with drones, AI, aircraft, etc., etc. So the shift in combat in the future has moved back to boots on the ground. More specifically, cybernetic or augmented soldiers, AI robots on the ground, short-range drones, tanks, that sort of stuff. We're not doing the air fight anymore. The political landscape has changed a lot too. Treyarch is predicting a very bleak future for us. Climate change is becoming more extreme. Resources are thus becoming more scarce. Things like clean water, fresh air, farmable land, that kind of stuff. The climate change, the flooding, it's moving people in and out of big cities. You have refugee immigrant problems, etc., etc. But actual resource scarcity just beyond clean water, like we're using all of the Earth's resources. And for the first time in the last like 300 years, there's actually a very real possibility that we could be running out. That's, ideas like peak oil, or, we've used all the gold or helium and things like that. And because of this, it's forcing new and unusual political alignments. Countries and people that previously hated each other, that wouldn't work together, don't want to have anything to do with each other, they are kind of forced into these de facto economical or political or even geographical alignments due to the climate, etc., etc. So we're going to see some really, really different kind of things. They wouldn't give us exact specifications other than countries that you didn't think would get along are now getting along. And back to boots on the ground. The military focus, the fights of the future, it's all robots and bio-augmented humans. These are big, big deals. Robot AI has still not been able to really compete with human AI, and because we are people and we're governed by people, we make human decisions, we want human brains in these machines. We want a person to decide whether or not we should pull the trigger and not just a robot. I think according to their story in the late 2040s, 2060s, something called a direct neural interface is invented. This is it allows your brain to communicate directly with a machine, which allows for cyberization of your body and creation of cyber brains. And yes, that's a reference to Ghost in the Shell if you get that. It also creates omni-aware soldiers. So not only are you getting guys with robot arms and legs and hearts and special eyes, but you're getting your brain augmented. So you can be omni-aware. You could see this a little bit in like Metal Gear Solid. They did it like, so you have a squad of soldiers, all of your brains are linked together. If one soldier sees something, you also see what that person is seeing. So you have a different level of awareness, coordination, and teamwork than you've ever had before. On foot soldiers makes them incredibly dangerous. That's the background. Let's move on to the story. The story picks up in 2060 or so. A CIA black site in Singapore goes dark, completely lost. I'm assuming that's the reference to Singapore in like the teaser trailer. There was a big like military research kind of thing there, just completely like blip, nothing. Nobody knows what's going on. So a US Black Ops team is sent in to investigate, to determine what happened there. Not long after the Black Ops team gets there, they also go dark, they die, they get lost, they just kind of disappear. And you follow the second Black Ops team, a more cautious team. So the first team was more like a rapid response team. Like, we've been invaded. Oh my God, we need boots on the ground. We need some guys that are there to like kick some ass and take some names. After that team just disappears, they send more like a follow-up team. They're more like special agents, operatives, detectives, and they spend their time trying to find their lost brothers, and I'll put that in quote, and determine the truth of what happened in this particular research facility. I have a feeling it has to do with Dr. Salim, because in the level that we played or got to see played, Dr. Salim is talked about a lot, and he's referenced as the world's best cyber doctor, cyber research. He's big into cyberization, all these augmentations and that sort of thing. So the campaign, you do like kind of globetrot around the world a little bit, but it's not like previous Call of Duties. Previous Call of Duties is like a really bad 1 or 2 days, and you just start and you just kind of go and you don't sleep and you kill a couple hundred people. This one's a little bit more like a detective story. Like you go here and you find this thing, then you come back to your safe house, which is a video I'm working on for later. The safe house is owned in for a different feature mode. Gear up and get ready to go out again, kind of like a normal sort of operative. That's all for the story. Let's move on to talking about the map and the gameplay that I saw. Before I do that, I thought I should let you know that when you play the campaign, you do not play as a sort of generic soldier. You are not a pre-built character. It's going very Mass Effect style in that you customize the looks of your character before you're starting. That means you choose male or female, you choose their race, color, gender, eyes, hairs, height, weight, facial features, the armor, the color of the clothes they wear, the shoes, etc., etc. You customize this guy or girl, and as you play through the campaign, they're in cutscenes, but it's the character that you created that shows up in the cutscenes. It just kind of loads it live and renders it a little more immersive that way. Kind of reminds me of Mass Effect or some of the other role-playing games, but I think that's a good change for Call of Duty instead of being Mr. Generic every guy that kind of stamps through all the baddies most of the time. The map and sub-map that we got to see played is called Ramses and Cairo Station. You show up to help, I believe, what is rebels in Cairo, Egypt. You ride in on a train. As you ride in, you kind of get to meet your squad and talk to them. Of note, all 4 squad mates are ever present with you and they help you. Previous Call of Duty games, you would have teammates kind of come and go. You'd have some AI sometimes, but they'd all kind of just like wait for you to move up and you do like 90% of the work. This time you have 4 people, I think they're 4, maybe 3, hopefully I'm not counting wrong. They're all there with you the whole time. Like your AI squad mates are always there to help you, and they can be taken over by other people when you do the co-op campaign. Yes, there's an online co-op, and I've got an entirely different video about that, but it kind of reminds me of Halo 3, like where you could, the chief, but the arbiter's there, or when your friend comes in, you can play the chief, and then your buddy can play the arbiter, kind of like that. But you've always got these guys help there with you, and they're not quite lazy or stupid. They do help you. They do things. They don't just wait for you to push up. And you've got visual augs as well. Since you're a cybernetic soldier, you've got all these like cyber brains and cyber eyes. When you need intel, when you need data, when things need to be marked, it's marked as you see it. A lot like Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare, you had your glasses, kind of like Google Glass HUD things going on. This one's like in your brain, so like load files and stuff into your head, which is kind of crazy. The first and really only gunfight we saw was this massive like rectangular area gunfight with some tanks and some cover and a lot of different ways to do it. Treyarch decided they wanted bigger fights than before. If we're going to have a co-op campaign, if we're going to have more teammates, then we don't need corridor shootouts. And corridor shootouts are getting kind of boring, too. I mean, basically all Call of Duties, you march, you kill people, you move forward, then your AI moves up behind you, and you just kind of move and shoot. But there are bigger fights in Black Ops 3 than there's ever been before in a Call of Duty game. That being said, they're still not gigantic in scale. This isn't Battlefield, this isn't Halo, it's not one of those games. They're just much bigger by Call of Duty standards that actually allow you to move around. You can choose what cover, what path to take. You can choose your abilities, and you have teammates and AI and stuff. But they have new enemy AI. So when they built the new maps, they decided they wanted bigger fights. What they found out is that the Call of Duty AI just doesn't work for it, because previously it was a more straightforward linear progression. So all you really had to do is program the AI, hey, shoot at this character, just shoot all your guns at him. That didn't really work. So they decided to individually program each one of these AI, and they don't want each one of them to be dumb. They give each one of them different enemy archetypes. So there's 20 plus, a minimum of 20, maybe more different enemy archetypes. Some are aggressive, some are passive, some camp, some rush, some use tactics, some communicate. Some get scared and run. They do different things, and each one is independently, and they can talk to each other. They can talk to each other and agree to flank you, smoke you, do different things. But it's neat. This is an idea that I've seen before in different games. It usually works pretty well. It usually feels a little bit realistic. But you've got all these kind of guys running around the map like crazy, and you have to clear them out. While you do this, you have a huge menu of abilities that you can use, upgrade, and max out. You've got cyber cores and cyber augs throughout the campaign, and as you play through the campaign, it's got its own experience and progression system that you use to like pick a path, and I don't think you can max everything. You have to be one thing or another. You have to have some kind of specialty, and you can choose to do different things with your cores and augs. You can replay levels and level them up and stuff like that. I saw one particular aug. It lets you hack things on the fly. You have to aim it, but then you activate it. The character that they were playing, they hacked a little drone that was flying around. Think about it, probably kind of more like the aerial assault drone from AW. It was like an attack drone, not just the visual one. But he looked at it, took it over, hacked it, used it to kill a couple enemies before they shot it down. They were fighting AI robots on the ground, not people, like actual like literal robots, like, you know, Clone Wars from Star Wars, the droids. And when you hack those, you can't take them over, but you can shut them down or make them self-destruct and other stuff. There was another thing called fireflies, and this one was one that I thought was really cool. You kind of like break open your robo hand and you send out this little swarm of AI drones, like tiny little ones. They look like flies. They call them fireflies because they set people on fire at max level. At level 1, they're kind of boring. They're not, well, maybe not boring, they're more tactical. They fly out, they annoy, they harass. You see enemies like scratching at their eyes, swatting at them, trying to keep them off of their guns and stuff. When you level them all the way up to maximum, they become lethal. They'll just like go and burn people alive, and they're kind of crazy like that. But all of these campaign levels are replayable at any time to gain more experience, to level up stuff. And you also have to use what I'm pretty sure is money or tokens or something to buy guns and attachment. Your guns carry with you. You don't get a new gun at the start of each level. You can pick new stuff up or whatever. But the gun that you have and the attachments you have on it, you have to earn. You have to earn the red dot sight, earn the extended mags. You have to save up to buy the big gun, to work on it, to just kind of progress through the campaign. So that's really, really different. That plays into some details that I have going on in the safe house and the co-op campaign info. And all sorts of different stuff, but I thought that you would enjoy this. Campaign we're moving a little bit more toward the grindy RNG Destiny sort of thing. That campaign's going to be infinitely playable, scalable, probably different modifiers, stuff like that. Lastly, there was much talk of a new graphics engine. The new graphics engine, I will put in quotes, designed to make the game look better, scale better on all systems, run on PC, etc., etc. It's always billed as a new engine. According to my eyes and what I look at, I see another version of the old like Quake engine that has been repurposed yet again for Call of Duty. I do not know this for sure. This is pure speculation. I think it is just another extremely modified Quake engine. Could be wrong, could be dead wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I got a lot more Black Ops 3 info coming up. Drifter out.